3 ways to effectively implement and combine vegetables for rapid fire fat loss and metabolism boosting. So number one is, the number one thermogenic benefit of vegetables is that it's what I call the principle of volumetrics, and I'm going to explain that real quick. All that means is that when you have a food, in this case vegetables, that takes up a lot of space relative to the amount of calories it has. For example, if you have a bowl full of lettuce and spinach and kale, it's going to be very nutritious, but it's going to take up a lot of space, but it's going to have lower calories, okay? So there's several benefits to that. And number one is that when you have the applied principle of volumetrics with very nutritious foods, that's key, with a high micronutrient, which is vitamins and mineral content, and the high volume with the high fiber, that's going to play a phenomenal role in promoting satiety, okay? That's going to play a tremendous role in satiety. And satiety, the way I define satiety, and I've touched on this before, is your body's ability to sustain between meals, sustain low hunger levels or no hunger, to sustain energy, to sustain no cravings, and to sustain a fast metabolism. So that's how I define satiety, and that's the first step, okay? Create, or implement rather, the principle of volumetrics. For example, you have a salad with kale leaves, spinach leaves, chard leaves, some lettuce, and I'm just giving an example, throw in some mushrooms, throw in some pico de gallo, which is diced up tomato, jalapeno peppers, maybe diced up green onions, white onions, cilantro, diced up zucchini, diced up cucumber. You could dice up some bell peppers. You want to create create a high volume salad that applies the principle of volumetrics. Doesn't have to be a salad. You could use Brussels sprouts and asparagus or cauliflower. But we're using vegetables in this. And so overall satiety is the first step, because you're never, ever, ever going to win in the fat loss game. You're never going to be successful in the fat loss, weight loss game if you're dealing with hunger and or cravings or low energy. You'll never win. You'll never be successful. Okay. Reason number two is that also with the applied principle of volumetrics, what you're also going to get is you're going to implement the thermogenic process of digestion. Let's talk about that. So digestion starts in the mouth. When you chew the food, the secretion of saliva, that's the start of digestion, and just that in of itself can actually accelerate the metabolism a little bit. I'm not saying if you chew a pack of gum a day you're going to burn more body fat. I'm not saying that, but that's where digestion starts, and you can actually trigger and accelerate the metabolism through that process. And you have the esophagus, small intestine, large intestine, so on and so forth as the digestive system. But when you have a combination of thermogenic foods, okay, which are foods that can actually accelerate your metabolism, that are used and included in the principle of volumetrics, okay, foods that are leafy green, cruciferous, fibrous, multicolored, your body's going to have to work harder to digest foods like that. And when your body has to work harder, there's more chewing. The esophagus, the small intestine, large intestine, stomach, and they have to work harder to digest it. There is an increased thermic effect of that. There's an increased thermogenic effect. And by thermogenic, I just mean a faster metabolism. There's a leveraged metabolic benefit to that. A good example is, you know, a lot of you guys love whey shakes. Women love fitness-minded females, and men too. They absolutely love shakes, protein shakes and meal replacement shakes, and they love it because there's no prep time, right? There's no prep time. You just kind of drink it and go. Well, the problem with that is liquid is absorbed. Liquid is not digested. That's the problem. Liquid is absorbed, liquid is not digested. We want digestion. Do we have to have that every meal? Well, not necessarily. You could have maybe one meal a day as some type of a shake or meal replacement powder. But the point I'm making is that almost all your meals should absolutely be food, should be whole food. We want to implement the thermogenic process of digestion, okay? So that's benefit number two. And let me jump on to number three. Number three is going to kind of piggyback off both those, but when you stack two main types of vegetables. Okay, when you stack your leafy green, high volume vegetables, your lettuce, your kale, your chard, your spinach, when you stack that with your thermogenic foods, and I'm going to list some thermogenic foods. Thermogenic foods would be stuff like radishes, green onion, white onion, yellow onion, bell pepper, celery, foods that actually can speed up your metabolism a little bit. They play a minor role, but when you include those with the leafy green high volume vegetables and then the cruciferous roughage that you get from stuff like, well, celery would be an example of that, but also cauliflower or broccoli. What that's going to do is you're going to get a trifecta and a more profound effect when you stack those different vegetables in a salad or some kind of mix. So those are three ways. Those are three ways to combine vegetables to implement fat loss and a faster metabolism. Guys, I hope this content helped. Thank you for bearing with me. The shadow's a little bit tough today because I'm recording at a different time than I usually do. But if you like this, do me a favor. Share the broadcast below, share the like below, or like it rather, and share it. And if you have a topic you want me to touch on, enter it below and I'll be happy to. And remember, no matter what happened the last meal, you can always eat the next meal like it's the most important meal of your life. WetWolfTraining.com, Wet Wolf Nutrition. Signing out. Have a great one, guys. We're out of here.